Money stops bullshit. The thing is, in the black community, we have culturally created a bullshit type of realm that we like to wallow in. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the black community, and that's historic. Because black people have always had to live double lives in America. I had an acting coach, a white guy, real good guy, acting coach, and he was breaking some stuff down talking about acting. He was saying that black people, we naturally have to act every day. You have to be two people living in this country. You have to act a certain way around white people, and you have to act a certain way, or you're used to acting a certain way among black people. And it was real deep the way he was breaking it down. So he was saying black people are just basically natural actors to a certain degree, because you're always performing based on how society is set up. You got to put on your game face all the time. And by black people having to do this so much, sometimes this acting morphs into being a bullshit artist. So we're always in bullshit mode to a certain degree, or we're practicing bullshit. So we learn to bullshit our way through life. And this is why, we don't do too much business with other people, because other people understand that bullshit dynamic that goes on with a lot of us. The bullshitting, shucking, and jiving, they understand that dynamic. So a lot of other people don't take interactions with us too seriously, if we're going to be very honest. And I'm not talking about in small numbers. I'm talking about collectively here. Because the thing is, many people in different cultures, they have an economic base where they don't really need to do business with us unless we're their customers. Because they make sure the money stops the bullshit. See, black folks can't really do too much bullshitting around white people. White people already assume that you're going to be full of shit, and the relationship they have with you is a customer or employee type of relationship. So you can bullshit all you want, just get the job done. Stay out of my face. We're not going to take you seriously enough to even buy into your bullshit. Just do your job, nigga, and go on about your business. It's that type of relationship. And with other groups, like when you go into a Korean grocery store, Korean convenience store, they ain't trying to hear no bullshit. You can't go in there with the whole, hey, this is my community. They're like, nigga, buy now or leave my store. Buy now or leave my store. Money stops bullshit. They're going to stop your bullshit real quick by asking for money. So what happens is that the bullshit is regulated among other black people. So we've become accustomed to just sitting around bullshitting each other. And black people, we're the only group of people who can literally just sit around all day, 24/7, and just bullshit each other nonstop. Talk about shit you ain't gonna do, gossip, shuck, jive. Just a barrage of nonstop bullshit. Just a marathon of bullshit running the mouth. This is why when people within the black community starts talking about empowerment and talking about actually building something and creating an economic base and stopping the bullshit talk, the main bullshitters in the black community, they start getting riled up. They start getting riled up. And there's 5 main bullshitters within the black community who ain't really about no empowerment economically. There's 5 types of bullshitters in the black community. You have nefarious preachers, and I'm not talking about all preachers. There's some preachers out there who are thorough, but there are nefarious preachers out there who know that they're full of shit, and they just like bullshitting people. So the minute you start talking about, hey man, let's stop depending on the dominant society, let's use some of our resources to build an economic base for the community, the preachers will be the first one, well the Lord, we need to pray on it now, we need the Lord, oh, we got to pray Jesus. Then they'll try to divert you into just focusing on spirituality and not economic prosperity, unless it's for them. And Now, again, I'm not knocking on preachers. There's some preachers out there who are very thorough. Not knocking on preachers at all, but you have people out there who are preachers who are not about economic empowerment. Second type of bullshit artists we have in the black community, the fake hotep niggas. You notice with those fake hotep niggas, the minute you start talking about actually getting some money and building something, they're like, oh no, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on, my brother. I ain't thinking about that white man's dollar. You thinking like that cracker about that capitalism. That's that cracker thinking, brother. That capitalist bullshit, brother. When y'all start hearing that, that's a nigga bullshitting. When you hear dudes talk, and it's always those bummy dudes. The bummy, dusty, sloppy, half a crackhead hotep niggas, dusty ass dreadlocks. They are major bullshit artists. And when you start talking about money and building something, all of a sudden they look like the bullshit artists they are, because what happens is they thrive, the dusty hotep niggas, they thrive, and preachers too, they thrive on people looking to them for information. Even if it's a little jive ass information, not good information, but people who halfway sound like they know what they're talking about, people will gravitate towards them to a certain degree. But when you have somebody who's actually building something, those people go into alert, because now you're taking away what little shine they're used to. And those hotep niggas, those fake hotep niggas, are some of the main hidden colors haters you can see. They hate hidden colors. That's why they're always talking about people should bootleg it, fuck hidden colors, this should be free. It's always the fake hotep niggas saying that, because money stops their bullshit. When you see a Hidden Colors film, or you see somebody who's really about building something, you look at the hotep niggas as the dusty, broke down niggas they are. Then they go into alert. They get mad and they get riled up. Now, the third group of people who are bullshit artists are the coons. When you start talking about economic empowerment, the coons go right into alert. He's talking about getting us away from white daddy. No. What about black on black crime? Then the coons start regurgitating white supremacist rhetoric. The coons start deflecting into a bunch of white supremacist rhetoric, because they're the special Negro. They don't want to offend nobody. They hate other black folks. So talking about doing something that's going to empower black people collectively, the coons go into alert first. And right under the coons, number 4, that's the bed wenches. The bed wenches, they're trying to get chosen by white daddy. So any type of talk about black economic empowerment, they're going to be the first ones to thwart it. They're going to be the first ones talking about, hey, let's be all inclusive. Or they're going there with a fake political agenda like, well, how about women's rights? Which they don't really care about women's rights. They just want to be divisive for the sake of being divisive. What about women's empowerment? That's a deflection and divisive tactic. And then you have the hood rats. And the hood rats, they're definitely not about economic empowerment in the black community, because they're comfortable already. The hood rats have already accepted their lot in life. Hood rats are just on cloud 9. You get a county check, Section 8, whatever, and you get to kick it, party. You're like a grown baby. So they're not trying to be economically empowered, because they're good. They're like this. They're satisfied with the crumbs. Section 8 is fine. When you start talking about economic empowerment, they start deflecting. Hey, let's hit the club up. Let's get our drink on. Let's get our smoke on. What's all that empowerment talk? No. So the thing is, it's very important for us to not be thwarted by those 5 types of people in the black community who will try to thwart economic empowerment efforts. Because when you talk money, you see the real them come out. Money stops bullshit. And this is why when I do things, I like to do things as a group Because a lot of times when I do things collectively, I'm talking about financially now. When I'm putting together projects financially by myself, I end up becoming a target, and a lot of black people become targets. That's why I like crowdfunding efforts. I like funding efforts where we can get a lot of people involved. Just like with the Hidden Colors film, a lot of people were involved, which was a great thing. So now you don't target one person, because when you start doing stuff on your own, people with disingenuous intentions will target you. In Ferguson, we know what's going on down in Ferguson. I donated $1,000 to an organization called Heal St. Louis. One of the people behind the organization gave me a shout out on Twitter for donating $1,000 to the organization, because I like to help the people down there. When the person gave me a shout out, Negro Twitter went nuts. All these people, the 5 people I named on Twitter, because these people are on Twitter a lot, the hate was heavy. The hate was heavy. The coons and bedwenches went wild. And there was a lot of slandering of me going on this whole weekend on Twitter, just for giving a donation. People were saying, how is this? Don't you take a donation from that Tariq? He don't like black women. Don't you do that? And all of that, those are smoke screens. When people start talking that Tariq don't like black women shit, those are smoke screens. When people start bullshitting and lying, those are smoke screens. That's one of the most common lies about me. I don't like black women. I want you guys to find any show that I've ever done where I said I do not like black women. I've been with a black woman for 7 damn years. Why would I not like black women? Most of the women I've dated are black. I get mad cooperation from black women. Black women come to my lectures. Black women buy my books. I got a wonderful mother who's beautiful in black. What reason would I have to not like black women? I have great relationships with black women. All of my relationships with black women have been wonderful. You don't see none of my exes coming out shitting on me. And I don't shit on them. I have real good relationships with all the women I've dated who are black. But that's neither here nor there. Just the fact that that sounds very negative. Something that you can't prove, but it sounds negative. And if you say it enough, you can try to get it to stick. But the thing is, like I said, back to Ferguson. I gave the money to Ferguson, so there were people down there in Ferguson who are taking advantage of the whole situation. There are people down there who are fake activists, because everybody who's down there marching with their hands up, you got some agent provocateurs all over the place, which have been shown and in certain videos. You got a lot of people down there who's not really too concerned about making any progress. They like because all the cameras are down there and certain people can get hood shine. There are a few people out there who are becoming celebrities on their little block, because now you got CNN down there interviewing random people, and now you got people in the hood who got a little camera time. Now it has gone to their heads. And I'm not talking about all, but there's a few people down there doing some real foul things. That's why I've helped with people who are doing some real legitimate things down there. And there were some people I called out on Twitter and on my live Ustream show. There was one young lady in particular, who started this whole Twitter troll of me this weekend. She is a woman named Netta something. She's on, and I talked about this on my Sunday show. She's trying to be an activist down there, and she's trying to be the next Rosa Parks, and she's trying to be Coretta Scott King, but she's really down there trying to get a lot of shine. She's out there taking ratchet selfies with her friends. They're out there twerking and dancing when they're supposed to be protesting and marching and doing stuff. And she was saying some very negative things about me, why I didn't give money to the Brown family, which I donated to one of the funds, by the way. There's a lot of people I donated to that I didn't say anything about, by the way. And I asked her, I'm like, well, since you're contacting me on Twitter, ma'am, what money have you given? And she went nuts. When I asked this woman about money, she started sending all the trolls. Tariq said I ain't doing nothing. He said I'm out here every day marching and singing and praying. I got a prayer vigil. So she went into this whole spiel about what she's doing. All her trolls started hitting me up, mad, creating a smoke screen. And the reason why they were creating a smoke screen is because it came out a little bit later that this young lady has been accused of skimming donation money out there in St. Louis and Ferguson. This young lady has been accused by people down there for misusing some of the donation funds. And it all came out. If y'all look at my Sunday's Ustream show, all of this stuff came out. They said this woman was out there buying beer. Her and her friends and her people, they were out there buying hotel rooms with donation money, trying to justify it, saying they needed a place to stay while they were doing activist work. What was some swimsuits they were buying. They were bailing out some of their friends who had prior warrants that had nothing to do with the protest. This is what they've been accused of. People were asking them for receipts because they were going to Walmart and spending a whole bunch of money and then not accounting for the stuff they were spending. So the woman outed herself, basically. And that's the problem. You got a lot of people out here who are not really used to building, and they don't want to build anything. They just want to take an opportunity to turn up. You don't want to build anything. You just want to get enough money to turn up. And that's the problem with a lot of people out here. When it's time to really break bread and talk money and talk building, people want to double down on bullshit. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall for that. Don't fall for people who want to double down on bullshit. Money talks, bullshit walks, as the old saying goes. People hit me up all the time. Tariq, man, hey, Hotep. And I've said this a million times. Hey, Hotep, Tariq, Hotep. Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, Tariq. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? What you want, man? Hey, man, we want to do, have you do a lecture, Hotep. We want you to do a hidden color screening, Hotep. Okay, it's this much, that much, this. I go right into the money. I stop the bullshit very quick. I go immediately into the money. I'm all business. I'm like, okay, my lecture fee is this plus travel. Oh, okay, well, brother, see, well, it's for handicapped orphans, brother. And what we do, we're going to sell bean pies. Brother, my fee is this. Hit me up when you want to go ahead and bring me down there, brother. I'll stop that very quick. I'm not in the bullshit business. Business is business. We got to get in that business mindset. Let's stop getting on that fake Hotep, jive ass bullshit our way around each other. See, when we start talking business with each other, the Negro mind look at that as something negative. You have a lot of black people out here who will say stuff like, well, man, Tariq, with those Hidden Colors movies, you're leeching off the black community. I had somebody tweet me that not too long ago. Somebody said, with the Hidden Colors movies, you're leeching off the black community financially. Look at those terms, and a lot of black people think like that. If you're making money within the black community and you're a black person, it's a negative thing in their mind. Now, other groups make money off us every single day. But the slave mentality thinks that is normal. But the fact that of another black person making money with a black person, there always has to be some kind of negative connotation there in the minds of people. We got to get rid of that. Because that's the bullshit talking. We got to stop that bullshit and be about our paper. Hey, y'all, that's been today's episode of the Tariq Elite Radio Show, family. Don't forget to hit me up on Ustream this Sunday. We'll chop up more game. You guys have a great week. I will holla.